This is wild men and feral humans in our national parks?
Now, for decades, tales of mysterious people inhabiting the deep woods of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park have persisted. These range all the way from
Dissing him as
reports of
we
hairy
speak?
wild men to entire families or groups of inbred feral cannibals.
What?
For some theorists, shall we say, these wild feral people are said to account for the unexplained disappearances in the national park.
This is unrelated, but I was watching a video about this incest family. This dude went interview them. It's so crazy, bro. So crazy.
In particular, they've been blamed for the disappearance of young Dennis Martin, the 6-year-old boy who vanished near Cades Cove area in June of 1969.
Damn.
A cryptic YouTube channel named South Force 10 elaborates on this theory and even claims to have inside knowledge, stating that some of his relatives in the area were hired by the government to hunt these people at one time.
What?
Even retired park ranger and legendary tracker Dwight McCarter, who was the lead in the Dennis Martin disappearance and many others during his long career, admit that there are wild men who live deep within the recesses of the national park.
I'm not going there.
Some
Wild
claim that
men?
these wild men are, in fact, the cryptid creature also known as Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
On
Now,
some
there
real
have been
shit?
Bigfoot
Bro.
sightings throughout the whole of Appalachia, so if the creature does indeed exist, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park would be the perfect area for it or them to inhabit.
That's facts. That shit's
The
crazy.
Cherokee have legends and stories of
I've never
these,
seen a video
what they
this
call
clear of
hairy
it.
giants, who were already inhabitants of the land before the Cherokee came into the area thousands of years
That's
ago.
gorilla humans.
Other people claim that these wild men, some say that they're wild women and children too, are not
Say some
Bigfoot at
shit.
all, but rather inbred and untamed humans that have lived their entire lives deep in the woods.
Bro.
They dress in animal skins, hunt and forage for their food, build their own shelters, and so on.
So these are like centuries of inbred people, which you're gonna be really fucked up in the head if it's centuries of incest people, and they're like just killing animals and people.
Naturally, they don't take kindly to strangers and have been known to kill any interlopers who dare to enter their secret domain,
They have
whether
a
by
secret
accident
bro.
or design. And they've been known to eat them as well.
Low key, I'ma vlog
Yes,
that.
that's correct. The rumors and legends and tales from the
They're
dark hills and
cannibals
hollers of the
too.
Great Smoky Mountains, as well as other parts of
Uh,
Appalachia, these people are not only isolated, inbred, and demented, they lean towards cannibalism as well. Although the average person might tell you that this is preposterous and
bro.
there's no way humans, even wild, hairy, inbred ones that have the occasional craving for human flesh, could hide out in the mountains undetected, I counter with this. Have you ever been to the Smokies?
Nah,
Now, I'm not talking about Gatlinburg or any of the touristy
I've
areas.
never been.
I'm not even talking about the myriad of trails that run through the park, which are hiked by millions of hikers every year. I'm talking about deep in the woods, really deep.
That's
There
true. They got hella woods, bro. No one goes out and about, like all the way out.
are places off trail that it's possible no human has ever set foot. Not even the settlers or Cherokee or possibly even Bigfoot, if he exists.
So much land
The
there,
Great
bro.
Smoky Mountains National Park covers over 500,000 acres. Let that number settle in.
Half?
500,000.
Hold on, stream. 700 something miles. Holy sh!
522,427 acres to be exact, as per the
Damn.
National Park Service website.
I'm not really
Unless you've
Jesus.
been in those deep, deep woods, where there are no trails, no markers, no anything
Quit eating my
other than you in the
headphones.
forest, it's almost impossible to comprehend just how vast this wilderness is indeed.
That's true, that.
Now, the ruggedness of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which sits on the border of eastern Tennessee and western North Carolina, in fact, it's almost evenly divided between the two states. It has to be not only seen but experienced to be believed. It's in these giant old growth forests, so far away from civilization, that you begin to realize just how small and infinitesimal a person is compared to the wilderness.
you got what? Probably a family out there with these motherfuckers, these crazy incest, inbred, like cannibal animal people. Bro, they not gonna stick out at all. It'll be damn near impossible to find them. And if you find them, it was a good run.
There's no wonder people die out there, especially those that are ill-equipped and ill-prepared.
Missing people, like,
Now, I said all that to say this.
what's up?
There are plenty of places, truly an almost innumerable amount of places, that a person or even a group of persons can hide out for an indefinite amount of time.
That's facts.
If you had the basic rough necessities, food, water, shelter, which are all in abundance here if you know what you're doing, there would be no reason to ever leave these woods.
That's
Case
true.
in point,
Especially if that's
Eric
all
Robert
they know.
Rudolph, also known as the Olympic Park Bomber, successfully hid out in the Nantahala National Forest, which is a 533,000-acre expansive wilderness in western North Carolina and along the Appalachian Trail heading toward the Smokies. Rudolph managed to elude the FBI for 5 years.
Damn.
5 years. And was only caught in 2003 because he left the forest and was rummaging through a trash dumpster in Murphy, North Carolina.
He could have stayed there forever. Bro, them forests are huge. You don't even
A
realize.
grocery store where he was spotted by a rookie police officer who recognized him from the FBI's 10 most wanted list. Now, if this man with only what appears to be minimal survival skills managed 5 years, imagine the skill set of someone who has never left these woods in their entire lives.
That, yeah, for real.
As a possibility,
That's all they
it
know.
must be considered. Recently,
How you
in
think people back
January
then did
and
it?
early February of 2021, the internet virtually exploded with a sudden flurry of YouTube videos with theories concerning ongoing tales of feral people in our national parks, forests, and wilderness areas.
That's last year.
Also, on the social media platform TikTok, a user named Ariel released a chilling video about a strange incident she had personally experienced at or near the Big Bend National Park in West
Oh,
Texas.
shit.
In the chilling video, which quickly went viral, Ariel claimed that while camping with her family, they proceeded to spend one night in the Basin Lodge. It was during this night when her story takes a strange twist.
Can't trust the national parks.
Late into the night, Ariel says she began to hear screams from off in the distance.
I'd be scared shitless.
Now, amidst these bone-chilling screams, she also states she heard a woman screaming, "We're going to die,"
We're gonna die.
and also the words, "I love you, just know that."
I love you.
Bro,
know that.
my heart would be
Ariel
in
also
my
says she heard what sounded
ass.
like a child screaming "mommy," as well as adults yelling for help, and someone pleading, "Call a ranger."
Call a ranger.
Now, Ariel notified the park rangers and the police, but to no avail. Supposedly, they found nothing out of the ordinary.
What?
The next morning, Ariel
They do
states
be
that she
hiding.
made further inquiries about the astonishing incident. However, park rangers as well as park employees claimed to have absolutely no knowledge of what she was talking about.
That's bull.
Ariel's video opened the floodgates, and other users of social media began sharing their own personal experiences regarding strange happenings in national parks. While
just
there
keeps
are,
getting better.
naturally, no official reports or documentation at all to back up these wild claims, the stories persist. While the previous encounter doesn't necessarily point toward feral people as the culprits, it does fuel rumors that many hideous and unspeakable things that happen in these national parks are covered up, either by the Park Service, the government, or both.
Imagine the government's hiding some, like, oh my god, feral humans, bro.
These even claim that these
I wouldn't be
wild
shocked.
feral people were the reason that the national parks were created in the first place. A place where these people could be contained and kept away from regular society to prevent attacks on innocent citizens while letting them live out their wild feral lives.
That's a good ass point. They're better off here, feeding off of stray humans, maybe one or two a year at most, than having them in public. That's a good ass point.
Still, other theories claim that these feral people are not actually people at all, but rather, as we mentioned earlier,
A
some
big
type
bet.
of Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
I
Or
trust the
perhaps,
videos.
if you can imagine it, even a Bigfoot human hybrid.
Bro, I believe this. I definitely believe this. I'm gonna think differently of national parks now. I don't think Bigfoot's real, but I do think it's these humans who have just like grown so much differently from us.
Now, there are some First Nations stories, which they're reticent to talk about, of course, that some of their women did mate with these hairy beasts from the forest.
What the
Now, this harkens back to the stories of places like Ape Canyon in Washington state, where in the 1920s, miners claimed to have been trapped in their cabin and attacked by a group of what they described as hairy ape men.
There's so
In the
many examples
1800s,
too.
near the Glastonbury Mountain area of Vermont, in what's known as the Bennington Triangle, a stagecoach had stopped due to the road being washed out. While attempting to dig the coach out, the driver noticed large bare footprints in the mud, much too large to be a human. Suddenly and without warning, a creature leapt from the surrounding woods and flipped the stagecoach on its side. Now that took some power.
Bro, a bear ain't doing
Frightened
that
passengers
shit.
claimed that the beast peered into the windows, then screamed and ran off
What's
into
on
the
my
woods.
screen?
The creature was later described as large, black, hairy, standing over 6 feet tall, and walked and ran on 2 legs.
What's on my
So,
screen?
what are these weird inhabitants of our national parks? Are they Bigfoot, feral, cannibal humans, or some strange combination thereof?
Bro,
Whatever you believe or don't believe, that's up to you.
chat.
I'ma take it slow, wanna keep it short, so I'ma let it blow. Riding around with drugs, I'm an evil soul. My heart's always broke, please just leave me alone. My heart's always broke, please just leave me alone.